anything can happen in Formula One, and of course it usually does. Each team has their own story to tell here today, and they all want it to end the same way, on that coveted top step of the podium. With 20 turns and a length of 3.7 miles, Baku City Circuit in the heart of the Azerbaijan capital is a real test of a driver's endurance, patience and precision. 90-degree corners through Sector 1 lead into a tightening uphill sprint as we start to circle around the old city. Then a 1.4-mile chase flat out through Sector 3 towards the finish line. A tough race in store then for our drivers today, so tell me, Anthony Davidson, what will you be looking out for as the cars make their way down into Turn 1?
Well, first of all, let's hope that everyone's well behaved and we can have a nice incident-free start. That initial release is going to be the most interesting thing. The clean side of the grid will be better rubbered in, so keep an eye out for cars over there potentially making their way through.
Well then, after an exciting qualifying session yesterday, let's take a look at how the cars line up. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Bottas, Sergio Perez and Verstappen, Gasly, Grosjean, Ricciardo and Lance Stroll, Hülkenberg, Raikkonen, Kevin Magnussen and Alonso, Sainz, Van Dorn and Sergei Sirotkin. Hartley and Marcus Ericsson rounds off the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Okay, the run into turn 1 isn't too long, so the pack will be bunched up. Take care.
Hello everyone and welcome back guys to round 6 of the F1 2020 Charles Leclerc mod career mode. We're back today after a very good race at the Monaco Grand Prix last time out. If you missed out on that video, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. But today we head to Baku. Bit of a mixed up grid for this one. Obviously the long straights have shaken up the order ever so slightly. We've got Sergio Perez, who actually looks to be Mercedes and Ferrari's biggest threat. He did a fantastic job to get ahead of the Red Bulls in qualifying yesterday. But for us, we just to try to build up our margin at the moment. We've got a 25-point lead over Lewis Hamilton after the first 5 rounds of this series. Hopefully, we can try and further extend that here today. But 13 laps around at the Baku City Circuit between us and the finish line. Let's just jump into this then. Getting ready on the grid. The 5 lights are coming on now for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and it is going to be lights out and away. We finally get going there. Do not respond all too well to the lights. That might be Seb, yeah, straight around the outside as we head down in towards Turn 1, straight down into P3 of the Grand Prix here as we head through the first couple of corners. However, we have survived. The front wing's still intact. Those are the 2 most important things around this circuit there. Hopefully we can try and stay ahead of Bottas. He's been doing very consistently so far throughout the entirety of this season, as we've instantly gone and skimmed the wall.
You've taken some minor damage.
That is not what we needed. That is definitely going to cost us all the time, so maybe a very early pit stop is going to be scheduled in this race. Not quite the start we needed then. Lost a place and lost some front wing. Now we need to try and knuckle down as we head in towards the infamous castle section. How bad is the wing damage through here? That's okay. We can work with that. But yeah, just struggling a bit to settle down into a rhythm here. Qualifying, obviously, as you could tell, went quite well. However, we're basically gaining everything on the straights. So we need to try and be there to hang on in. As we go for a bit of a lock-up there, skim the wall again. Luckily, all the damage we've done to the end plate has already been done. As we reach the end of lap 1-7, Hamilton already starting to make a bit of a breakaway there. And yeah, we just need to try and settle down and keep going at the best of our abilities. Hitting the wall again. What's wrong with us at the moment? Struggling with it off the start of this race. We're going to be under pressure from Valtteri Bottas here as he can reach the end of the opening lap. He's going to look to the outside. We'll give him the room there. Hamilton obviously fastest lap of the Grand Prix, and Bottas doesn't quite have enough top end. However, does break a bit later than us into turn 1. However, we live to fight another day.
Some information on
Kvyat's already out of the Grand Prix.
from the race.
No idea what's happened to him off the start then. I think where he's parked seems to be a mechanical failure. So, disappointing end to Danny Kvyat's race very, very early on. Haven't had too many retirements this series, but I think that is the first for AlphaTauri as we hit that wall again. Wonderful. Seb and Lewis now fighting for the lead as well. Seb sets the fast lap of the Grand Prix, and I think he's made it work. DRS has now been enabled as well. That's certainly going to spice it up even more between the top two. But Seb, obviously, we've taken 3 wins so far this season. Seb yet to get a single one just yet. Could today's Azerbaijan Grand Prix finally be his day? Only, well, I say only another 10 more laps. Most of the race still to go. There's a lot of aggressive defending going on, and it's allowing me to get a little bit closer again. End of lap 3, we're now all over the back of Lewis Hamilton here. However, he has still obviously got the DRS on my teammate. Yeah, these two fighting has really allowed me to close back in a bit. Hopefully it continues happening. You know, we should all just bunch up down the straights. New fast lap of the Grand Prix, and the team want me in the end of this lap. However, look at that, Seb and Lewis really going at it at the moment. Can we potentially capitalise on this? At turn 2, try and get the power down as early as possible. Hamilton obviously gaining on Seb. He's already trying to save some ERS. Might have to have a look on Lewis Hamilton here. Goes defensive. We're going to switch to the outside. Seb just breaks it a little bit earlier than I was expecting him to. And that is us down on the skate road. Trying to rejoin. We're back out all the way down in P8. That was not quite what we had in mind. Seb, I was just a little bit worried about running into the back of him. Felt like he braked it a little bit earlier than myself. Not his fault by any means, but yeah, unfortunately you had to take a bit of evasive action, and it has cost us a lot of time. Team obviously want us in at the end of this lap, but we might be able to get around Grosjean as well here. Just a little bit of a lift. Can we potentially get past him? Don't really want to be on this side. What's the squeeze for, man? Come on. Can we get around him though? Yes, we can. We'll dive into the pit lane as well. We've got Albon coming in just in front of us. And Grosjean actually comes in as well behind us, so it's a good job we got past him. Hopefully now we can try and stay ahead of him over the pit stop window. Don't get held, don't get held. Yes! 2 races running, we haven't been held, and we should stay ahead of Romain Grosjean. We've jumped Albon in the pit lane as well. That's exactly what we like to see. Come back out of the pit lane now.
Look after these tires.
Going to come back out down in P13. However,
Ricardo, they seem to have an issue.
Ricardo's got issues as well. We can get back up to about P5, P6. I'll probably take that as a win after the mistake we made. This is the problem with obviously doing these shorter races, although I do find them a bit more fun as we hit the wall again. If you make any mistakes, it really, really does cost you. Ricardo goes so slowly as we reach the top of the hill here. He's definitely got issues on that Renault car. Is Perez is going to try to look down the inside. That's got a little bit harum-scarum there, but we've all made it through. And Perez has certainly allowed me to get a whole lot closer to him as well. Seb's now into the pit lane. We, as you would have seen, didn't change the front wing, which I sort of just left it. If the team did it, then I wasn't going to worry, but yeah, we'll wait and see as to what happens now. Surely we'll get the run on Perez here. That racing point, a very, very quick car down the straights though. Around the outside, nothing you can do this time around. This Ferrari back on F1 2018 was an absolute missile. Where are we going to come out when all the pit stops are said and done? It's going to be P5, but all over the back of Bottas for P4. Seb now quite comfortably in the race lead as well.
Okay, car ahead is now running the super
now
soft
it's a
tyre.
case of
That's
recovery.
the super soft on the car ahead.
Bottas on the super softs, all over the back of the though. Definitely be able to make a move work at some point soon. It's always the thing I've noticed at Baku. Although you get a fair bit of action, obviously all that you do is just sit behind the car in front until you get on the front straightaway, and then try to go for a move. It's, yeah, it doesn't quite, at least for me anyway, make you want to go for risky moves at any point, because obviously there is just no point in doing so. However, Bottas will have the slipstream of Verstappen. Verstappen's going incredibly slowly. What's going on here? For the Red Bull driver, we're going to actually make it 3 wide momentarily. Bottas felt like he moved a little bit in front of us there. New fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Well, I instantly was just talking about action, as, well, 3 wide is certainly not a regular occurrence in Formula 1, but a nice double overtake, and we're back up now into the podium places. Somehow, in this race, Hamilton and Seb, though, a long way up the road. Maybe, if they continue fighting, we might be able to close back up again. We are still closing in quite rapidly on Lewis Hamilton here. We took about, well, just under a second out of him on that lap. We are, however, really pushing, as you can tell there, a little bit of a mistake as we head through turn 2. But yeah, Hamilton, I don't know if he's quite in the slipstream of Seb. But yeah, we're certainly pushing to see if we can close up. May as well try and open up an opportunity if possible. Another 7/10 taken out of him that lap. 4 to go here at Baku. It's not looking likely, but it's also not looking impossible at the moment. We are, however, running very low on fuel and cutting it tight with the ERS. Another second that lap. We're still pushing. 3 laps to go now of the race. At the rate we're closing in, it would be, we get 1 chance on the final lap of this Grand Prix. Seb's looking pretty safe unless something goes catastrophically wrong. But P2 is definitely still a possibility here. And obviously, coming into this race, there was only 1 point separating Mercedes and Ferrari. So, if it all finished now, we would take the lead of the Constructors' Championship. But it could all still go wrong at the end of the day. Purple first sector, though, is exactly what I like to see. Come on, then. 2 laps to go. What's the gap going to be to Hamilton? As we head down in towards turn 1, we are so low on the ERS and the fuel. 1.2. If we can get into the DRS zone, we can save a bit of fuel, and we can hopefully try and get past him. Obviously, we'll try and get in the DRS this lap, and then just go ultra saving. Try and stick with him, and then just go for 1 shot at the end of the race. It's a risky strategy, but it's a strategy that I'm more than willing to try, considering our championship position. Come on, 1 lap to go. We didn't quite get the DRS, however, I feel like the gap is pretty much going to be 1 second as we head onto the final lap. Yeah, we go. 1.007 seconds.
0.5 seconds.
Now we just need to try and balance the ERS and the fuel usage and still try to close at the Hamilton, who still leads this race. We've got a tiny bit of spare fuel. We've got very little in the way of ERS. We're just trying to harvest it and save it at any given opportunity. At the moment, still pushing up towards the walls at every opportunity still. Come on, half a lap to go here in Azerbaijan. We've seen some fights down towards the finish line in this race before. Obviously, Stroll and Bottas back for P3 all the way back in 2017. Could we see a repeat of that between Charles Leclerc and Hamilton here in 2020? Just got to navigate turn 8 one final time. Oh, dink the wall on the outside. That might cost us. That might cost us dearly in this race. Come on. Gonna have to flick up the fuel, flick up the ERS, everything like that. I reckon that has cost us. I was trying to hype it up, and it's all gone catastrophically wrong here. Attack the curbs. Oh, in the wall again. Somehow no more damage picked up on the car. Come on. Are we within that 1 second? Oh, not quite. Really pushing on the exit onto the front straightaway here. I don't think we're going to be close enough. Don't even think we're even going to get the DRS now. I hyped this up so much, and it looks like it's not going to pay off at the end of the day, though. However, my teammate Sebastian Vettel is going to come through to take his first race victory of the season. However, for us, it's only P3 at the end of the day, and we lose a little bit of ground to Lewis Hamilton.
Pick up rubber and bring it home.
Here's our winner, pulling their Ferrari into Parc Fermé. What a fantastic race it was. So, Ant, how exactly did they set themselves apart from the pack today?
Well, I'd say it's just raw pace, plain and simple. I mean, We could sit here and talk about strategy all day, the overtaking, looking after the tyres, but at the end of it all, if you want to win, you need a package that's got the speed over everyone else, and that's exactly what they had today.
And as we can see, it's time for the podium, and as the drivers make their way out, there's a familiar red suit making its way to the top step. Fantastic win for Ferrari. Moving on to the driver of the day then. Anthony Davidson, who would you go for?
Oh, maybe Marcus Ericsson? Yes, I think I'll commit to that one. Marcus Ericsson, fine job, very consistent.
That's it for today's Grand Prix, and from Ant and I, it's goodbye, and see you again next time.
So there we are then, the end of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix here in Baku. Sebastian Vettel from third on the grid takes home his first race victory of the season. They're ahead of myself and Lewis Hamilton, still under a second actually at the finish line between myself and the Mercedes. And considering the damage and the mistake we made, I think we can try and look at the positives from that race. Bottas comes through from P4 to finish P4 there, with Verstappen and Perez swapping from 5th and 6th. They're a very, very good job by the Racing Point driver there. Albon in 7th ahead of Grosjean, picking up even more points for Haas. Stroll and Ocon rounding out the point scorers there, with Magnussen and George Russell just missing out on points at the end of the day. They're ahead of Giovinazzi and Latifi there. Williams' best result of the season, if I'm not mistaken there. Lando Norris in 15th, Raikkonen, Pierre Gasly, Sainz and Ricciardo there, with Danny Kvyat the one man not to make it through to the end of the race. In terms of the championship though, the lead has been cut down to just 22 points. That's okay though. You know, there's a long way to go in this championship. We will take that there. Hamilton still second, Bottas still in third. Sebastian Vettel jumps back up into 4th place and now ahead of both of the Red Bull cars. The Albon still in 5th ahead of Verstappen there. Ocon still best of the rest, now 2 points clear of his teammate Daniel Ricciardo there, with Perez with that great result moving himself up into P9 ahead of Magnussen and Sainz. I don't think... so we got one mover at the bottom there as well. George Russell now has a better result than Antonio Giovinazzi as well there. And in the Constructors, we now take the lead 9 points ahead of Mercedes there as well. Red Bull falling away quite quickly at the moment, just not quite getting the results they need in these races. And the only other swap is with, once again, Perez's very good result there. Racing Point now jump McLaren for P6. But anyway, that'll do us then for this video, guys. If you did enjoy, do make sure you get yourself subscribed, and obviously, hopefully, we will be back very, very soon when we head to, I think, the Canadian Grand Prix. I'll see you guys soon.